Fun Times with the Wilson Family by Max Acorn. The Wilsons, all-you-can-eat family-style restaurant, or simply Wade's to some people. It was a restaurant unlike any other, owned and operated by a single family with various friends that worked for them to make it a success. Normally, something like this would not make for an interesting story, but this eatery is probably the most unique place you'll ever have the misfortune to dine in. You see, the restaurant exists in a rare interdimensional cross-slide where all known realities and unknown realities converge. What does this mean? Why, dear reader, it means that nearly anyone and everyone can partake in the fine cuisine of this establishment. That is, unless you can survive the dangerous and insane events that seem to flow endlessly to this place like flies to a rotting carcass. Enough with the descriptions already. Get to me, man. I have to put in the setting or it won't make any sense. Just put me in there. The readers will get it. I'm not a hack like you. I'm not a hack. I write fan fiction too, you know. I know, I've read it. It's just 120 chapters of you having sex with B. Arthur. Well, it's better than 50 Shades. Good point. Now get to me already. You're trying to impress that hot chick from that fanfic group on Facebook. I can help you with that. I don't need you messing around with my personal life, Wade. She's a good writer, too. Normally, old Wade isn't one for the whole guy-on-guy thing, but she does a good job with it. Almost makes me want to jump teams. I wonder if I ever be a top or a bottom. Bottom. You know, sometimes just a guy just wants to get pounded in the ass like a bitch. Okay, I don't need the image of you getting screwed in the ass in my head. That can be fixed if you introduce me. Fine, I'll introduce you. Yay! Now remember to get my good side, which is all my sides. This fun character is the owner of the restaurant, Wade Winston Wilson, otherwise known as Deadpool. A mercenary from the Marvel Universe, he possesses incredible regenerative powers and an awareness of his status as a fictional character. They know all that! Get to the story! As you can see, he makes for an interesting subject to write for. Anyway, we find the merc with the mouth strolling through the main dining area of his restaurant that would be normally full to capacity with all sorts of colorful characters. Heroes, villains, anti-heroes, psychopaths, gods, goddesses, demons, aliens, and chickens. But not tonight. Why? Because it was time for the weekly staff meeting, which Wade was always late for. This time he spent the last few days looking for Suplex City after watching that WrestleMania match featuring Brock Lesnar 10 times in a row. I just want to pay my respects to the nightmare of Suplex City. As I was saying, Wade was always late to these kind of meetings for one reason or another, so the employees were quite used to it, but it didn't really mean they liked it. Wade walked through the large room and made his way to the back of the staff room where everyone was waiting. Honey, I'm home! His greeting was interrupted by the fist of a very angry-looking woman. She was fairly attractive, with black hair tied in box braids, a curvy, well-toned figure with an ample chest, and fair, almost pearl-white skin. Her attire consisted of a white long-collar blouse with a flowing backside, form-fitting gray slacks, and open-toed sandals on her feet. Her face was awash with rage and annoyance. Her mood was evident the moment she spoke. You're late, you idiot! She roared, seeming almost like a dragon in human skin. Wade popped back up like it was nothing. Hey, babe! Sorry I'm late. Had to go run an errand. For the last time, Suplex City doesn't exist. That's what they said about the G-Spot. And I found that, didn't I? The woman pinched the bridge of her nose, shaking her head slightly as the slight migraine she had been fostering for a few hours was getting all worser. Just get in the goddamn room, Wade. Can do, love of my life, he said with a smile, not that you could tell with his ever-present red and black mask. This woman was Azumi Curtis, the same Azumi Curtis from Full Metal Alchemist. I'm sorry, I made a slight mistake there. Her full name is Azumi Curtis Wilson. She is Wade's wife. Now, you are probably asking why a woman as no-nonsense as Azumi would marry a man who makes the Joker look like Batman in terms of pure batshit craziness. Well, it all started when they met in the deli she owned with her former husband, Sig. Deadpool walked in, hoping to order a large order of meat for his meat armor, a job he was taking, but fell hell over heels in love with her. By his own words, her tits are amazing. They married shortly after Sig died in a tragic accident. Stabbed 110 times, shot 145 times, doused with gasoline, set on fire, and thrown into 10 lanes of oncoming traffic. Such a terrible accident. As to why Azumi stayed married to this psychopath, the reasons are threefold. 1. The sex is amazing. Despite his goofball personality and rather hideous looks, when it came to pleasing a woman, Wade knew exactly what he was doing. 2. Financial stability. Between his years as a mercenary and the revenue from the restaurant, the Wilsons had a rather sizable bank account. And 3. Jack, their son together. She didn't know how he did it, claiming to have called in a few favors with Reed Richards and Dr. Strange, but she was pleasantly surprised when she learned that they were expecting a child. The smallest Wilson was in his high chair near the large conference table that had all the employees seated around it, strangling his teddy bear, Beetlejuice. Deadpool took his seat at the head of the table, with Izumi taking her seat next to him as the manager. Everyone knew she really ran the place, since her husband was a dim-witted idiot. If anyone needed something done or had an issue, they always went to Izumi first. "Alright, now that we're all here," he began, "I want to know the truth. Which one of you shot JR?" He was answered with a collection of groans, sighs, curses, and obscene gestures. "This is a staff meeting, Wade," said Izumi, "not to find out who shot someone." "Then, who shot JR?" he asked, genuinely curious as to the answer. "I don't know," she answered. "You did." "I did?" "Yes, honey, you shot him good, too." "Great," he said, suddenly chipper. "Never liked that guy. Arrogant Texas prick. Now, with that bit of business out of the way, let's get this meeting started with a nice little roll call." Once again, groans and swears were their answer, but Wade just ignored them as he began. "Okay, let's see. Wade, here. Buxom, beautiful wife who I worship the ground she walks on. Get on with it. Here, Jack. All eyes turned to the baby as he somehow found his way to the floor and placing his teddy bear into a figure-4 leg lock, screaming woo as he did so. "Here. Kitchen boys." A set of 3 hands slowly rose into the air, 2 made of metal and 1 of flesh. These hands belonged to the Wilsons' other sons, not blood-related. After all, after young Jack was born, the couple decided that he needed siblings to look up to, so they decided to adopt. Who did they adopt? 2 of the boys Izumi had already known before she even signed the papers, were the Elric brothers. The elder brother, Edward, was seated close to Wade, and next to him, still bound in his suit of armor, was his younger brother, Alphonse. Next to Al was the 3rd Wilson brother, the world's most hyperactive, knuckle-headed ninja, Naruto Uzumaki. "Here. Come on, Wade," spoke Ed. "Can we hurry this up? I got plans." "As do I," added Al. "Yeah, me and Sakura are gonna go watch a movie together. And we haven't had time together since the Quill wedding." That voice belonged to Naruto's girlfriend, who also worked at the restaurant as a dishwasher, Sakura Haruno. Wait a minute," said Wade. "Didn't Naruto hook up with that big boob chick with the white eyes?" Naruto and Sakura had been dating since the end of the war, mainly when he introduced her as his girlfriend to his dead father. That's not right. They totally hooked up after the war. That's not right. They totally hooked up in the war after Sakura went back to that crazy emo ninja. Yes, Naruto and Sakura's relationship is a testament to true love and devotion. Dude, I know you're pissed at Kishimoto for fucking up the ending, but this is a bit much, don't you? And if a certain mercenary didn't shut his scarred trap, he'd find all of his B. Arthur porn replaced with pics of Wolverine covered in Canadian maple syrup. You wouldn't. he asked in worried utterance, and worried as he should be, for the author was already in the process of turning all the pics of his beloved actress into ones of a short, hairy Canadian mutant. "Okay, I won't keep you lovebirds any more than I have to," said Wade, now with an appropriate change of heart. "All right, my boys are here. How about those waiters?" The answers came from a loud, powerful voice that shook the very table they all sat at. "Foolish Wilson! You will show Doom the proper respect!" It was Dr. Doom. Yes, that Dr. Doom. Supervillain extraordinaire, Dr. Doom. Ruler of Latveria, Dr. Doom. Nemesis of the Fantastic Four, Dr. Doom. Indeed, one of the Marvel Universe's greatest and most dangerous supervillains. A man, through his own intellect and sheer force of will, transformed a small European nation into a technological superpower, conquered the world on more than one occasion, and attained godlike powers many times, was working as a waiter for Deadpool. Various people from their native reality have visited and have pointed how absurd this was. That is, after they were done laughing at him. No one but Doom and Wade knew the exact details or how and why the super genius had come to work such a job for such a person, and neither are talking. Nevertheless, Doom was a diligent and dutiful worker, and Izumi made sure he always got the proper pay, although she didn't care for his grandstanding or pontificating when taking orders. Now, Victor, what have I said about loud proclamations of your status?" The new female voice seemed to have an effect on the tyrant-turned-waiter. He looked back at the diminutive pink-haired woman sitting next to him. She wasn't angry with him, given the knowing smile on her face. But honey, he said in a quieter voice than before. "Victor?" she chided. The armor-covered villain slunk back into his seat with a pout. Well, what one could call a pout, since no one could see his face beyond that metal mask of his. "Doom is here," he finally spoke, highly subdued. The woman in question was Doom's wife, Washu. The tiny woman hailed from the Tenchi Muyo universe, where she was considered its undisputed greatest super genius. A woman who once created a weapon capable of wiping out said universe, simply because she was bored. She and Doom met several years ago when he was traveling across the multiverse in search of an object of power to help him in his quest to prove his superiority over the quote-unquote accursed Richards. He happened upon Washu's lab in the residence of the Masaki family. She was impressed that a mere human could not only breach her lab, but understand quite a few bits of the projects and experiments that littered about it. His bravado and self-confidence that sometimes crossed into extreme egomania were very appealing to her. It also didn't hurt that Doom could turn on the charm like nobody's business. They were married the next day. Now, Washu was one of the few people who could rein Doom in when he was being, well, Doom, of course. Mainly because, while he would never openly admit it to anyone, his wife was smarter than him. No matter what he thought up, the Choshin either thought it up first or invented it first. Washu was the big brain in the family, but you wouldn't know that Doom didn't mind it. "Okay, Tengrin is here. Goody! Now, where's my princess?" "Right here, Daddy." The energetic and bubbly response came from Orihime Inoue, the beautiful and slightly ditzy girl from the Bleach universe. She was a knockout, all right. Long, reddish blonde hair, ample figure, adorable gray eyes, a light, honest voice, and her large set of breasts that bounced when she was excited. She was an honest girl, always caring and kind to anyone who met her, and lacking in any sort of meanness or cruelty in her heart. Her only failings, if you can call them that, were her very wild imagination and her strange taste of food, hence why she was the hostess instead of working anywhere near the kitchen. And yes, you heard that right, she called Wade Daddy. And it's true, Wade is her biological father, a result of a one-night stand with her mother, the Marvel assassin known as Typhoid Mary. Wade regrets it because he does not like Typhoid Mary. He does not like looking at her, talking to her, thinking about her, or even reminding himself that this woman still existed. Outside of his wife, Mary is possibly the only person that Deadpool actually fears. But the one good thing that came out of that time with was his daughter. He adored her and jumped at the chance to have her around at the restaurant. His sons also looked out for her when they found her in one of her daydreams. Izumi was appreciative of her as well. Serving as hostess, her bubbly personality and good looks made her perfect for greeting guests. "Did you find Suplex City yet, Daddy?" she asked. "Not yet, Princess, but when I do, road trip!" "Yay!" "I believe you've been informed many times that this so-called Suplex City does not exist. You continue to showcase how foolish you truly are, Wade Wilson." The cold, apathetic voice brought Wade out of his good mood. It belonged to the young, black-haired, green-eyed, pale-skinned man that sat dutifully next to his little girl. This dour gentleman was Ulquiorra Schiffer, Rancor, former fourth espada in Aizen's army, and Orihime's husband. "No one asked you, emo boy," Wade yelled at his son-in-law. The young man wasn't fazed in the slightest, still holding the same passive, emotionless expression he always had. "I do not understand why you continue to use that title with me, Wilson. I am neither emotional nor depressive. I simply have no tolerance for trash." "And I guess you don't look in the mirror too much lately, huh?" he said under his breath. A large green flash of light streaked across the room and it impacted Wade's skull, his head exploding, splattering his brains and blood across the wall. "Oh, Kiara!" Orihime yelled at her husband, a small bit of smoke emanating from his extended index finger. That was a Sero, a pure concentration of spiritual energy that can be fired into a beam of highly destructive power. It was a common technique known to all hollows and Arankars, and Ulquiorra was very good at it. What someone not used to the goings-on of this establishment would take note of is that no one seemed to be overly shocked or concerned that their boss's head exploded into a fine coat of red paint on the walls. They were all used to it, sadly. It was no secret that Wade and Ulquiorra did not like each other. Wade thought his daughter could do better than some quote-unquote emo ghost, and Ulquiorra thought he was just quote-unquote insane trash. This resulted in altercations that too resulted in the Sero to the head situation you see now. "My finger slipped," he offered to his wife as an explanation, something he always did when he had to blow off her father's head. A few seconds later, Wade pulled himself back to the table, his head having already finished regenerating. "If that didn't totally just clear up my sinuses, I'd be really upset." His threat fell on deaf ears as Ulquiorra was being calmly chastised by his wife. Meanwhile, Wade cleared his newly regrown throat before continuing. "All right, how about our cooks?" Everyone's attention turned towards the three cooks in the room, two seated and one standing coolly against the wall. Here, Mr. Wilson." The voice belonged to Komatsu, a young, talented chef from the Toriko universe. He was very unassuming, almost average in looks and in build. In fact, next to Washu, he was the shortest employee in the whole damn place. But that's not to say his cooking talent was minuscule. Komatsu was a highly skilled chef, since in his world, chefs were national heroes and public icons. Having traveled and befriended one of the greatest gourmet hunters in the world, he wasn't really bothered by the daily craziness that was the norm around here. He jumped at the chance to cook at an interdimensional restaurant, wanting to really put his skills to the test. "Yeah, I'm here too." Seated next to him was a teenager in dark blue spiritual robes. This was Yoshinori Shimomura, and he was a Kakaishi, which is a type of demon exterminator, if you will. In his home universe, he, along with his next-door neighbor and crush, Tokine Yukimura, protected the land of Karasumori from demons who sought to use his tremendous power for their own personal gains. When he wasn't hunting or killing demons, Yoshimori could be found in the kitchen cooking up a storm and making delicious cakes and pastries for his family. The reasons why he took this job is A, he could cook and bake without anyone bothering him about his duties, and B, he was saving up for a date with Tokine, if he ever got up the nerve to ask her, that is. "I'm here too, you rat, you red bastard." The swear came from the last of the three cooks, the head chef of the Wilson family restaurant and cook for the Straw Hat Pirates, Blackleg Sanji. From his well-tailored pinstripe suit, his dirty blonde hair that covered his right eye, goatee, and to his ever-present cigarette, the pirate was the ever-present picture of cool. And he had no qualms about cursing out the boss, as you can see. "Hey, we got kids here. Watch your mouth." "You curse more than me, Wade." "I fucking do not fucking curse more than your bitch ass, you crap-tastical shit stain, and I'll kick your bitch ass, bitch." All eyes were on Wade with pointed looks. "Okay, I guess you got a point. Bitch." "Cool it, Sanji. Let's get through this fast so we can all go home," said Azumi. Upon hearing the voice of his lovely boss, the cool image that the blonde had was shattered as he jumped around, grinning like an idiot with hearts in his one visible eye. "Whatever you say, Lady Azumi!" he exclaimed like a love-sick idiot. Honestly, the ladies were the only reason Sanji worked there, and the women knew it. They knew just what to say to the love click to get him to do whatever they wanted. Okay, while he's drowning in his own lust, let's get the final name off the list. Where's our bartender?
Optimus Prime, present and accounted for.
Yes, you heard me. Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots and keeper of the Autobot matrix of leadership, was the restaurant's barkeep. No one really questions why a war hero and champion of justice throughout reality would be serving booze to people. It would even seem stranger that a robot would be serving drinks to organic life forms. But then again, no one really questions it. Prime was squeezed in the far back of the room. Once again, no one really questions how he was able to fit his massive form in the room to begin with. Looks like everyone else is here, said Wade, eating the attendance sheet. Why? Because I'm a petty bastard. So, any new business? Naruto raised his hand. Point of order, he began. Someone keeps messing up the bathrooms. It's hard to clean up. Why are you complaining? Asked Ed. Can't you just make your clones or something to make it go faster? Not when it's everywhere. And green. Really green. Azumi sighed. I know who it is. It's Hulk. You always invite him over for burrito night, Wade. Hey, hon, he's a friend, a bro, a road dog. How can I not hook a buddy up with tasty Mexican food? He's not your buddy. Okay, well, he's an ally. He's not an ally either. An acquaintance? Well-wisher? Non-sexual life partner? Wade. Fine, I barely know the guy, but he's a big green rage monster. If I don't, he'll grind me into Wade butter. It's actually not a good idea. That's not a bad idea for a product. I can't believe it's not Wade butter. Yeah, I could totally get Brad Pitt to sell this stuff. Doom agrees with the ninja, Victor said, getting the stink eye from both Konoha shinobi. Banner's rancid bowel movements need to be curtailed. Fine, I'll see what I can do. But if a Hulk comes here and asks for burritos, you'll deal with it. Doom didn't seem too bothered by his order. Anything else? Point of order. It was Washu's turn to speak. The doctor's been calling me a lot lately. He says he wants to know when you're going to get his TARDIS back. Still? Whined Wade. I thought they brought that back weeks ago. Apparently not. He says it's been missing for the last 3 weeks. Washu was referring to an incident that happened several weeks ago. The restaurant was hosting the Armstrong Quill wedding when the Time Lord had his beloved ship stolen by some unknown parties. Witnesses say that the last 2 people to be seen with the TARDIS was the demon hunter Dante and the vampire agent from the Helsing organization Alucard. Since then, the ship has been seen throughout space and time with the sounds of partying emanating from behind its wooden doors. That and the smell of what one witness called sex, guns, and shame. Since then, the Doctor's been hitching rides across time in what he deemed lesser time machines. Just last week, he and Doc Brown got into a heated argument about the effects of Jell-O pudding on the time vortex. Bah! Snapped Doom. It is the aliens' own fault for allowing that idiotic vampire bounty hunter and that psychotic vampire even near the machine.
A vessel of such power should be more guarded.
Look who's talking, spoke Naruto. I bet you were planning on stealing that thing yourself. The genius merely crossed his arms as he leaned back in his chair.
Doom will not dignify that with an answer.
A point of order, said Komatsu. Someone's been sneaking hot wings from the fridge. We had 10 packs for the week, and now we're down to 5. All eyes fell to Wade. Don't look at me, he defended. The old ball and chain has forbidden me from eating them ever again. Izumi nodded, ignoring the slight insult. It's true. Since that night a few months ago, he's not to have hot wings. I will not have an encore of the night of 1,000 farts. I regret nothing. Sanji finished his 7th cigarette before he spoke up. It was probably Doom.
How dare you,
the armored tyrant roared, leaping from his seat.
Doom will not be insulted by some perverted pirate cook. Doom is not some junk food junkie. If Doom wishes, he could buy 1,000 bags of...
His tirade was halted by Sakura leaning over the table and sniffing his breath. Uh-huh. Buffalo sauce. Doom did it. Washu gasped. Victor? Just like that, the proud bluster of Dr. Doom deflated into the image of a small child who had been caught eating cookies late at night.
Doom is sorry. Doom has a problem.
You're damn right it's your problem, yelled the pirate. That was one of our best sellers. Those bags are coming out of your salary, barked Mrs. Wilson. See? All the crazy shit that happens isn't always my fault. Honestly, I was going to blame Emo Boy down there. He really looks like the type to steal that shit and eat it while listening to Linkin Park. His comment earned him a serral to the head. Orkiora! Yelled Orihime. There was a fly on his nose. But a serral? It was a large fly. After the obligatory minute for Wade's head to regrow, he got back to his feet, muttering something about that damn emo. Just then, Optimus Prime raised his hand.
Point of order. We need to talk about something, Wade.
Hey, man, I told you before, those rims and your wheels will take at least another 4 weeks or more, vato, he said in a very fake, very cheesy Hispanic accent.
That can wait until later. I need to discuss your overuse of my matrix of leadership.
What you talking about, Prime?
You keep asking me to light your darkest hour, and frankly, it's getting quite annoying.
They're just imagining things. I do not abuse your chest bling.
Yes, you do, Wade.
Oh, yeah? Name one time I did.
It was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Another day, another $1 for serving organics.
He commented to no one in particular as he finished cleaning the last mug in the bar. With only 10 patrons, it was something of a slow day for the Transformer. That is, until a massive explosion rocked the building.
What in the name of Primus?
He exclaimed. Before he could have a chance to transform and roll out, in ran Wade. It wasn't anything new for the merc and mass destruction to go hand in hand, but this time was a tad bit different. Deadpool was dressed in a tutu, covered in head to toe with blood, and carrying the severed head of Tom Hanks on a stick. Prime, he started, totally out of breath. Don't ask any questions, just light our darkest hour.
Do I even want to know why?
The Autobot asked. The sound of what could be only called a pissed-off Teletubby erupted from outside, spooking the merc even more. Honestly, by the time I explain it to you, we'll already be knee-deep in... Just do the thing! Prime sighed.
Fine, but this is the last time, Wade.
I promise. Now hurry up! I think they caught my scent. With that, the chest of Prime opened to expose the Matrix, accompanied by The Touch by Stan Bush.
O Matrix of Leadership, I beg of you to light our darkest hour and bring us victory.
Present time. And everything turned out all right, said Wade.
Wade, do you know how long it takes to recharge this thing? 200 stellar cycles. And I have to pay royalties to Stan Bush every time. I swear, he fucks me right up the ass.
Prime was in a foul mood, and he was right to be so, for you see, that particular incident involved... Wait a minute.
What?
Did Optimus Prime just drop the F-bomb?
Yeah, and?
Optimus Prime doesn't swear.
Sure he does. They curse up a storm in the Transformers movies. I mean the good Transformer movie, not the Bayformers.
Yeah, but that wasn't Optimus swearing.
The Prime I know doesn't swear. Oh, that was the old Prime. This is Dr. Smov's Prime. That one swears like a sailor.
My childhood. My poor childhood.
Oh, hush up, you big bitch. You're almost done with this chapter.
Prime, despite the interruption, continued his complaint.
Personally speaking, I'm surprised Primus hasn't gotten upset that I'm using his power like that so often.
Speaking of which, said Komatsu, retrieving a large blueberry pie from the portable cooler Toriko gave him, here you go, Optimus. The Autobot leader opened his chest once again to reveal his coveted matrix of leadership. After a few seconds, a bright flash of light erupted from the core as an impossibly huge metallic hand extended from the light and took hold of the baked blue pastry. Suddenly, the loud, booming voice of the god of all Transformers rumbled, shaking the very foundations of the buildings itself and causing everyone to cover their ears. Now, normally hearing the voice of Primus can be both humbling and frightening, but the words he spoke kind of took the grandeur out of it. It was just 3 words, but those words were enough to baffle anyone who heard it from the god.
Primus demands pie!
After that, his hand, firmly grasping his delicious tribute, retreated back into the Matrix, shutting Optimus' chest with a small clack.
I thank you, Komatsu, as does the god that lives inside my chest.
Wade, along with everyone else, cleared out his ears.
Ouch!
I don't need those pesky eardrums anyway. Oh well. So, any other new business? He was met with silence.
Good, now let's get the fuck out of here. We all got places to go, people to see, sins to commit.
Wait a minute, Buster, spoke Izumi. We still have one more piece of business to take care of. Something that's been staring us right in the face for months and it needs to be taken care of. Hun, if it's about that dead clown that's been under our bed... Wait, he started, but his wife stopped in mid-sentence. No, not that. Besides, it's my fault. Damn thing surprised me when I was on the toilet, she said, shaking her head in shame. No, this has to do with our competition.
What, you mean Naruto's boyfriend across the street?
The ninja roared.
Wait, he's not my boyfriend!
Could have fooled me with how much you hound him. Besides, that's legal now. Isn't that nice?
Wait, you red bastard!
Izumi, do something about this. Naruto, I want you to know, regardless of your sexuality, we will love you all the same, said his adopted mother with a totally serious face. Yeah, that's right. You're still our brother, Naruto. Al chimed in next. Yeah, even if you let old duck butt across the street pound your orange ass, added Edward.
You dickwads. If you and the Uchiha boy decide to get married, Doom can officiate the wedding as monarch of Latveria. I assure you, the ceremony will be most respectful, said Doom.
You can eat a dick, Tin-Face. Did you hear that, Yuli? Orihime asked her husband, smiling as happily and brightly as a child on Christmas morning. I'm getting another brother. I do not mind his choice of mates, the Arankar spoke, but I will warn you, Naruto. If the Uchiha boy boasts about the power of his clan, I shall remove his eyes from his skull.
Not you too,
he whined. He turned to Sakura, who was looking at him and wondering, as if she were wondering about his sexuality. Sakura, you believe me, too? You got to. You know I never play for the other team. At least not with Sasuke, right? Right? Of course I believe you, dear, she said. I mean, who in their right mind would want to watch you and Sasuke have sex? Her words were caught in her throat. Then her face turned a bright shade of pink and a perverted smile grew across her lips. She was obviously thinking of her boyfriend and her first crush in the throes of passionate lovemaking. Oh, Sakura, the blonde whined. What? She said as she snapped out of her daydream. A girl can dream. But hey, my birthday's coming up and you always said I'm hard to shop for. Naruto merely laid his head on the table, the sounds of his weeping mixed with the sniggers from his brother in Doom. Ah, kids, said Wade proudly. Anyway, what about Emo Boy, huh? What's to worry about? People rarely go there. It's a wonder they're still open. True, but he's always watching us from that balcony of his with his goggles. I don't like the way he watches this place. I'm sure he's just looking over here to admire your sweet, juicy rack. This earned him a punch in the arm, breaking his in 5 places. Even so, it's almost like he's planning something. Her husband waved it off with his dangly, dislocated arm. Hey, it's not planning anything. He's probably over there right now doing something else. Like going to the bathroom or popping his pimples or eating cheese. He should be eating cheese. I mean, who doesn't love cheese? Cheese is good. I could go for some cheese. Who wants some cheese? I'm getting some cheese. Anyone want some cheese? Across the street from the Wilsons' restaurant lies their only known competitor, Sasuke's Seafood Shack, or S3 for short. It had great cocktail shrimp, a nice fried catfish sandwich, and some of the best oysters this side of the DC universe. Still, despite these advantages, the eatery was a ghost town, rarely getting 3 visitors a week. Why? Because it has something to do with its young owner, who was certainly currently standing on the 2nd floor balcony, eyes peering through a pair of binoculars at his rival restaurant. This was the last member of the Uchiha clan, Naruto and Sakura's former teammate, Sasuke Uchiha. Oh, you think you're so special, he muttered to himself, with your big-titted wife and your kids and your big robot. But soon you'll be out of business, and the multiverse will know the superiority of our seafood as well as the power of Uchiha. His mad mutterings were broken by the call of one of the strangest beings he had ever come across in his time in this insane realm of reality. Just behind him walked a tall mountain of a man, tan and muscular, with a simple white t-shirt and brown shorts, and tape wrapped around his feet and his hands. In contrast to his impressive physique, he had the look of a simple child, which matched his personality. This was Apache Hopachai, the Muay Thai god of death and one of the masters at the Ryozanpaku dojo. This man-child was one of the most powerful martial artists in his world, a dangerous fighter even when holding back, and now he was Sasuke's self-proclaimed best friend. Why? Because I'm an asshole. Sasuke! The fighter chirped in his high, childish voice. Look what I found in the street! The ninja glanced back at him. He was holding a marble. Good for you. You found a Dragon Ball, he finished. I found a Dragon Ball. If I find 6 more, I get a free wish. Once again, Sasuke found himself fighting the urge to kill the man-child. That's not a Dragon Ball, Apache. That is a marble. You sure? Yes, it's a marble. Maybe it's a baby Dragon Ball. A baby Apache! Have you ever seen a Dragon Ball before? He asked, exasperated. No, have you? Not in person, he answered. But I know what they look like. In that case, maybe you haven't seen a baby Dragon Ball. Sasuke sighed. Apache, when God was giving out stupid, you went back for thirds. I don't know what stupid is, but it sure sounds tasty. Can we get on the menu? Itachi, give me strength. He said. He silently prayed to his deceased brother. Never mind that thing. Get over here so we can plan for tomorrow night. Gee, Sasuke, what are we doing tomorrow night? The same thing we do every night, Apache, he said, spoke loudly. Try to run Wade out of business. Cue Pinky and the Brain theme song. There's Sasuke and Apache, Sasuke and Apache. One is a ninja, the other's Apache. To prove he's not a fool, they'll drive out their pool. Their matcha is Sasuke and Apache. Appa! I swear I will find where Wood put that song and make him choke on it, fumed the Uchiha. I like it. Let's sing it again. Quiet, Apache. I finally devised the perfect plan to drive Wilson and his clan from this place forever. First, we will hire an army of clowns to... Sasuke, dear, where are you? The voice was sickeningly sweet and horrifyingly cheerful in its tone, and yet the fearless Sasuke Uchiha, who betrayed and killed without batting an eye, had an utter look of dread and terror upon his normally impassive face. He was frightened beyond all that one could be considered frightening. He knew the owner of that voice. He knew he wanted to see him, and he knew what that meant. Rolling up his sleeves, he revealed the reverse seal summon on his arm, and quickly began the ritual. Pacha, you didn't see me? I was not here, he ordered his sidekick. The master nodded at his order before the ninja vanished in a puff of smoke. And just in time, too, as the owner of the voice walked up the stairs and onto the balcony. Her appearance matched her sweet voice, a flowing pink Lolita dress with matching boots and fingerless gloves. Her hair was long and blonde, tied in twin pigtails and accentuated with a large bow on her forehead. She only had one visible eye, the other covered by a purple eye patch. She was the Grand Courtier of the Revox Corporation, Nue Harimi, and in contrast to her appearance and personality, she was a total psychopath, powerful and dangerous, who in her own words, could go wherever she wanted to go and no one could stop her. She was completely unaware and unconcerned about the feelings and lives of the people she hurts and kills. And she was Sasuke's blushing bride. Why would he marry a total monster like Nue? Again, because I'm an asshole. Pacha, have you seen Sasuke? She asked, dragging her massive scissor blade behind her. I'm making a new suit made out of life fibers, and I need quite a bit of blood. That man of mine bleeds so easily. Appa! Sasuke said he wasn't here, and I didn't see him. And since Sasuke told me to say that to you, it must be right. This revelation didn't seem to bother her. In fact, she seemed to smile even more. Oh, that boy almost makes me want to break his leg so he can't run away. Oh, well, he'll have to come back eventually. Why is that, Nue? Because once he starts crapping blood from the highly powerful laxative I stuck into his dinner today, he'll have to come back for the antidote. I don't like crapping blood. It sucks. Can we play Minecraft? Of course we can. And soon Sasuke will join us when he's crawling on his hands and knees, covered in his own blood and fecal matter.